Hey, Stillwater, welcome to episode 34 of the Still Connect podcast, the show all about our amazing town, Stillwater, Oklahoma. This is your spot to plug in, hear some great stories, and feel a little more connected to our amazing community and the people in it. I'm your host, Denver Evans. I grew up right here in Stillwater, where I run my business, Stillwater Digital Marketing. Still Connect is a local, crowd-funded podcast where, every week, I share friendly chats with someone who's helping build community here in Stillwater. If you want to help share these local stories, consider becoming a subscriber on Patreon for early access to episodes, sponsorship opportunities, and more. Before we get started, I want to shout out our current business sponsor, Renovate Stillwater.
I'm really excited about today's episode. We are back with Steve Irby, owner of Kicker. How are you?
Doing great this morning. Yeah.
Great. So we've talked before. We talked about Block 34 back in December. Now here we are, October 2nd.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Was the grand opening of Block 34? Are you happy with your investment?
Well, yes, I definitely am. In fact, I'm really happy with it. I think the most rewarding thing is to see people using it, and so I think that was the goal. And I see that, and I see a lot of people at the concerts. And so, yeah, that makes me happy. Yeah.
Have you enjoyed the concerts yourself?
I have. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I love being outside listening to music. It's just so relaxing. And, when we have good weather and you can get up and walk around you're not kind of like stuck in a seat, or crowded. So I think just that kind of spread out, easygoing feeling, relaxed feeling, listen to music outside is just about the best.
Yeah. It's been a really great turnout. I think they've had at least 500 at every event. The last concert they ended up doing indoors, so that one had a little bit lower turnout. But halfway to St. Patty's Day, that full day festival, I think they said it had around 1,200.
That's what I heard. Unfortunately, I was out of town and missed that one. That was one I wanted to catch, but
I'm sure they'll do it
I
next
heard
year
about
since
it.
it was so successful.
And the sheep herding and stuff. That was extra bonus.
Yeah,
and then just the excitement and the Celtic groups that wanted to pitch in and really make this thing happen. I like the energy from that.
Yeah.
And,
the sheep herding was really funny. When I originally heard about it, I thought I knew that they were going to have a pen, and I thought they were going to have the dogs just kind of herd the sheep from corner to corner.
Yeah.
What they did was they actually let them out. They let them out
what
of the
I
pen,
heard.
and we're just out in the field. And the owners were they had these specific whistle patterns that they would do, and the dogs, they just jumped right into
amazing.
action. It was really entertaining. So, yeah. So
I've seen that done, but I thought that was so cool to have it here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really cool. And I think that just kind of goes to show the opportunity for Block 34 and the concert series and those types of events of how we can bring things into the community, to the heart of Stillwater that we didn't have before or didn't have the opportunity to see or hear before.
It's just, as much as your creativity and imagination can conceive of, you can probably do it.
Yeah. Right.
So, I thought that was pretty out of the box and pretty cool. Yeah.
So kind of in that vein of, if you can imagine it, you can make it happen. How do you see the future of Stillwater moving forward with more opportunities for growth like Block 34 and development? What would you say to people who are thinking about maybe stepping up and making a large donation towards an endeavor like that, to kind of encourage them to help make a difference in the community?
Well, I think it's a kind of a lifestyle choice. Do you like where you live? Would you like for the town to improve and have more quality of life and things to do without having to go out of town to get that? And so I think if you have a vision for Stillwater and for what Stillwater can be, then Block 34 is really a catalyst, that you can really feed into. And I think, can expand the scope of what we have here in Stillwater through Block 34. And I've always thought that it would be a catalyst for other things. I don't know what all. It's kind of, whatever people are creative with and ideas they have can possibly happen, as well as, business development around the area.
Right.
So to me, it's more of a thing for quality of life in Stillwater. And if you're interested in that, then you can make a difference at Block 34. There's other places as well, but I think it's a good starting point.
Right. Absolutely. And I think we've already seen a lot of property around there be purchased and a lot of people talking about development and even just more improvements made to the community center in order to accommodate, what if an event at Block 34 isn't able to happen and needs to happen indoors? How do we better, how do those backup plans work like we had to do 2 weeks ago at the other event? And it went really well. The team did a great job. They pulled everything together. The concert indoors was amazing. King Cabbage and Downtown Funk were so much fun. There were people in there. They had the whole crowd like waving their arms and, being very interactive and engaging. But there was also a lot of that the weekend before at halfway to St. Patty's Day. I think I counted in one of the images and there were like 60 people in front of the stage doing these dances that I don't remember if it was just Waxy Dargles or if that was when they had all the bands up there. But they had all these people and they were teaching them how to do these dances in front of the stage. And that's just something you don't see very often. And it's something that has to be curated through these experiences. But in order to have the experience, you have to have the venue.
You have to have the venue and then, encourage interaction. It's like a lot of times you think, well, I wouldn't get up and do that, and then somebody does. You go, well, maybe we'll give it a try. And then you have a fantastic time. Yeah. It's like, pulling yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit and just enjoying it. And I think that's great. We all kind of get in a rut, of how we view things and what we do at events. And I think that was great, especially the Celtic event, getting people involved. Yeah. Makes it so much more dimensional,
Absolutely. So can you share anything kind of from behind the scenes of since it opened to now? Were there any big changes, improvements on the block? Did any of the strategy change after it opened?
I think in small ways, we hope we're always changing, and getting better and fine tuning. And so that was always my thought, is that you get it started and then you kind of see what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. And so, some of the ways that we're doing things we're changing a bit. Also, of course, we'd love to have the farmers market up there. They're kind of established down in another location. Right. That's always been a long-term goal of mine, is that they would be there too on Saturday mornings. So, hopefully that may change in the future. I would also personally like to see some more music events, possibly during the week, maybe a Thursday night, or performances by even local high school or band or community band. I'm not sure if we still have a community band. They used to do that. I think that would be great.
I think we have a few. I think correct me if I'm wrong, anyone who listens to this, but I think we have the community band, and then I think we have a big band, which is kind of a smaller group out of them, and then we may still have a jazz band. Yeah.
See, I think that would be probably not as big a draw, as maybe what we're doing with Block 34 Live. Right. But we used to enjoy things like that in Stillwater years ago. They would have those in the park or something, and we'd go to that. And so, I would like to see some more of that, some more just local talent bands that, that people can just come out and enjoy casually, maybe on a Thursday night. Right. And so we've got something going a little more often.
That makes sense, because I feel like right now all those concerts are happening. Yeah. But you kind of have to know that they're happening. You're not going to be walking around downtown and hear music, right? Out of a block away and walk over there and see it. You would have to know that it's happening. You have to go into the community center, it's a great space. Yeah. It just doesn't lend itself to, we're strolling around downtown. We hear some music. Let's go listen to the music for a little while.
Right. Right. You kind of have to be in the know, or following, Block 34 Live on social media, which I know that you're involved in. That's really great.
Thank you.
I think that really gets the message out. But not everybody follows it.
Right.
In fact, I wasn't following it for a while. And, it just dawned on me, why am I not following this? I mean, I kind of knew what was going on, but I got on it and was looking at it and just thought, man, this is fantastic.
Well, now that you're following, I really feel the pressure.
Yeah, right. Well, it's, you're up to date on your postings and the things that are relevant. And so, yeah, that's just another way to let people know. Then we've got the signs, the digital signs on the corners of the block. If somebody's driving by, you can take a look and see what's going on.
Yeah.
But, to me, the more the better, as long as we can support it and not, wear out our volunteers.
Right.
Because I know a lot of it's volunteer.
It is. I mean, it's pretty much at this point all volunteer.
Yeah. Right.
So it's which is amazing when you think about it. So I mean, for all the people, like I said, there have been about an average of 500 people at every concert. So I've seen the backside of the planning, and everything that has gone into that, and it's incredible. It's phenomenal.
There's a lot.
What people are doing just in their spare time. I mean, all these people pretty much have full-time jobs.
Oh yeah.
Very few retired people really working on this.
No.
So it's super active, and these people are going out of their way after hours to make these things happen. And
absolutely,
I think these people are great examples for the community, and who I think all of us can challenge ourselves and say, hey, what am I doing to help the quality of life of Stillwater outside of myself?
Yeah, it's a way to really apply yourself, and especially if you like outdoor events, you like music, these sorts of things, it's a perfect venue. And so I think more volunteers. We had someone step up just the other day, said, I want to come see you and talk to you about Block 34. I want to be involved.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
Like a volunteer?
Sign on the dotted line. Yeah. Right.
Right.
And someone that's very capable. And so, that's wonderful to see people that actually want to step up and make the move to contact somebody and do something about it, rather than just thinking that would be nice, but take some action. So I think it's rewarding, and it's a way to serve the people of the community, if that's something that fits your style.
Yeah. And if you don't have time, they take donations of any size. So
that's
they
right.
have sponsorships and all sorts of other ways to contribute financially or help serve in leadership, structure, planning, all that stuff. So
that all helps it
check it out.
Helps it to be have more variety, and the people that come and perform there or do things, maybe they're not paid a whole lot, but we try to pay people, what as much as we can. And so the more funds that we have to fund performances and things like that, the better that we can compensate them for their work too.
Right. And that's one thing that we've talked about on the inside a little bit, is building the reputation of being a place where performers, vendors, anyone who's involved on that side of the organization really wants to come back. Yeah. So when we announced that Halfway to St. Patty's was going to happen, a lot of people just went, "Oh, you're doing it at Block 34 Live or Block 34? We want to be involved." Yeah. And so we want musicians to feel that way too. We want them to have a good experience and make sure that they're happy and comfortable, and that this is a place that they're willing to come back to, because if we get support but it's a bad experience for them, then it gets to a point where it doesn't matter how much you offer them. They're just gonna they're gonna say no if they're uncomfortable. I mean,
I think back in the day when I was playing in bands and stuff, I mean, if there was a place like this, I think I would want to be there as a musician. And of course, you don't get rich being a musician, but it's fun, and some people do really well at it. But where you play makes a difference in how you feel about yourself and your performance and this sort of thing. And when there's 500 people or more out there listening to your music, that's pretty cool. Yeah. You don't find that everywhere. Yeah. And so I think it's a desirable place to be. And compensation is great as well.
Right. So tell us about some of your experience playing in bands. What was that like, and when did you do that?
Well, I played in bands through high school and college and afterwards for, a number of years, probably 10, 12 years. And, but, we played fraternity parties, proms, stuff like that when we were in high school.
Yeah.
And then clubs and things like that, back in the 70s. And, some outdoor events at OSU, for Howdy Week and stuff like that they had. So, and back in high school, we actually did some TV shows. They had a local show called The Scene.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of a takeoff of American Bandstand.
Oh, we need to find some footage of this.
But it was local, yeah. And that was fun. We played on there quite a few times, but we had to record our stuff and then we'd lip sync it.
Oh, yeah.
And because they weren't set up to actually play live. We did that, and there was another show called Danny's Day that was a noontime talk show, and it had little bands on there, and we played on that and stuff. So, so I pretty much played my whole life, but was way more active in just the, commercial scene. But I still play in church. I mean, I'm there. I play every week.
Oh,
we have
nice.
a group, a worship team. I play on that every week. Been doing that for forever. I love playing. So, that's part of the idea of Block 34 is that, I like live music and I like to play live music, and I know kind of what bands want, and I have a feel for that because I've done it.
Right.
And so
that's good.
So that's why the block is kind of music centric.
Yeah.
And Jim Beckstrom is the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So we played together. We've had a little group played together with him and Jared, and just for fun.
Very nice. So actually, we had some submissions of questions from some of the listeners, questions for you. So you mentioned playing in church. One of the questions was, how has your faith influenced the way that you operate your business, the way that you look at philanthropy, donations, things like that?
Well, I think it's greatly influenced that. And people kind of have different giftings or kind of bents, and mine is more, giving, I think. I like doing that. I haven't always been able to do that. We're in a better position these days to do that. I mean, in a business, you go through your ups and downs, and sometimes you're just barely making it, So, I like to lean into that. I enjoy that. It is more blessed to give than receive, and I can guarantee you that. I mean, it's really fun. Things like Block 34, and then see people enjoy it. It's like, you can't buy that. It's just, you can't buy that feeling of accomplishment and, giving somebody something they can enjoy too. I like doing that in the product we develop. It's fun here at Kicker to see people use your product and like it and enjoy it. It's really rewarding. And I think it's kind of that way for musicians in a way. That's why a lot of times musicians are willing to play for not that much money.
Right, because they love it.
Because they love it. And then if you see people liking your music, there's a reward in that that's not monetary. Mm-hmm. And so, I think that makes a difference. And then, of course, I think anything that you do, for me, I have to really lean on the Lord for help, because you always go through these things that are challenging and difficult. I mean, you can't avoid them. Everybody has them. And so do you stress out, or are you able to let go of that, let him handle it, and be okay with that no matter how it turns out? Mm-hmm. And that's, a challenge to believe that he is working for your best interest, to actually believe that so you can let go. Because if you don't believe that, you can't let go. Yeah, you're still going to try to make it happen yourself. Right. So
we like control so much, though.
Yeah, we do, and it's not so easy to let go. Mm-hmm. And but I endeavor to do that, and just do things that serve other people. And I don't do that all the time. I mean, it's I focus on my own stuff too, but that's a goal that I have. Right. And something I try to work for when I can, mm-hmm. and it's rewarding. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's really great. So one of our next questions was, you have children who are entrepreneurs. I know that Joel owns Stone Cloud.
Yeah.
Do you have any other children that are entrepreneurs?
I have a daughter, and she's busy raising a couple of teenage boys.
Yeah.
So she's not really into that at all. I don't think so much, and but she's fantastic at what she does, and so she lives in Arkansas, and but yeah, I mean, and I'm okay with that. I don't think your kids are little U's. You know, they don't have to be little U's. I mean,
Right.
they've got their own life, and let them do, what they're cut out to do. What they're made to do. Help them follow their dreams and their talents and abilities, and not pigeonhole them into something.
Yeah.
So
That's good. That kind of goes back to that idea of faith, right?
yeah,
Understanding that there's a plan beyond ourselves, and that
Right.
the more we try to control things, the less we rely on God and have that faith.
and it usually doesn't work out too well.
Usually not. I've known quite a few people whose parents have tried to
Yeah,
push them in a certain direction, and it usually goes the opposite way.
it can backfire on you.
Yeah.
You want to give guidance, but kind of let them choose their path. But and there's principles, wisdom and things like that I search for and like to understand and pass those along that are applicable for whatever direction you're going. So to me, that's more the type of advice I would rather give rather than maybe your career path, because I don't have a clue what anybody's career path is.
Right.
Really.
Yeah, that's great. So speaking of career path, our next listener question
Yeah.
is, when you were starting your business, what did your hourly time look like? Did you keep track of that sort of thing, or did you sort of just get the job done? What kind of boundaries maybe did you have when starting your business?
Probably the main boundary that I had was don't sacrifice your family on the altar of business. And I think I picked that up from my mom. I wanted to be a professional musician. When I was in high school, I was kind of set on that. And about all she said was, you'll be on the road a lot. And that was about it. But there was more to it than that. It means you're away from your family, and so this is another life. And I remember thinking that through and going, yeah, I love playing. I don't want that. And so I think that started forming my opinion, even in high school, about what I wanted to do. So, I started building speakers as a hobby. And so never thought that could be a business, really. It was just a hobby. But I really took to it and really liked it. And so that's, I think I'm getting off the subject. But, for career path, it really helps to kind of evaluate what you really like to do, who you are, and what you would like to become. And for me, I remember in college, I told a friend of mine, I would like to be an inventor and a musician. And I didn't know, I still kind of feel that way. I like to develop things, creativity, innovation, this sort of thing. And I like music. I think I kind of had it there, but, then I went off in different directions. I didn't really maybe take that seriously, and I love building speakers. My dad got me started in that. He helped me build my first one. I really liked that, but I didn't probably take notice of myself as this is what I like to do, and until I dropped out of grad school and thinking, what would I like to be doing? Because I had no clue. And I go, I'd like to be building speakers. It became really clear. And I go, well, why don't I do that? Because that's what I really like to do. And I think I'm motivated for that. The other stuff, I'm not motivated.
Because you were studying sociology?
I was in sociology, yeah.
So very, very, very different direction.
Pretty different. Still trying to solve the world's problems, but,
Yeah.
I figured out that was a little bigger than me.
Different method. Yeah.
But I like to build speakers, and so, yeah.
That's great. Well, yeah. So what is your philosophy? Last listener question. What is your philosophy on retirement?
Well, I don't have any thoughts of retirement because I'm doing what I like. I guess, I was raised to think of a profession as something that you should just always do, rather than you do one thing, then you do something else.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for some reason, my goal was always to find what was right for me and go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm still there,
Yeah.
And this was my hobby. And so obviously it's morphed into a lot more than that,
Right.
but still I like what I do. And if I retired, I don't know what the heck I would do. Really. I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'd have to figure something out, but I haven't been doing other things as much as this. I would rather come to work and be involved in some things. To me, it's not work,
Right.
And if I don't go to work, if I'm not feeling well, if I'm sick, I feel like I'm missing out. I don't like that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like just sitting around, although sometimes it's kind of nice, but
It's nice to take a break,
not for
but
very
not,
long.
yeah.
Not for long. Then I feel like, no, I want to be doing something. So
Yeah.
yeah, no plans to retire unless I have to.
Well, I imagine your day-to-day work, of course, like you're not doing the carpentry of building speaker
No.
cabinets anymore, so that things kind of change over time, and you can probably, I imagine you changed kind of what you did based
Oh,
on your
yeah.
interests and got to be more and less involved in different parts of
Yeah,
this large company you've built over time. So you kind of get
absolutely.
to do what interests you and do
Yeah.
what you think will move the business forward.
Right. And I think, as you move like through life or through business or whatever, you realize more what like they say, your core competency. What are you really good at? What can you do, but you're not that great at it and you're not
Mhm.
really crazy about doing it. For me, I've tried to divest myself of those things and stick with the things that I really like. All days are not that way, of course, but generally, the things that I am not as excited about doing, there's always people that like doing that. It's just finding them,
Mhm.
maybe they like doing accounting or doing tax forms or filling out quality control forms, for whatever, and it drives me crazy, So find someone to do those things and then do what you like to do. And so really, I'm I'm not as busy in a way as I was, because I don't wear as many hats. But the hats you wear, you try to do really well.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You can't be the only yes in your organization.
No, and you'll be the lid on it if you have to micromanage everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then that's just more stress on your shoulders. And
Yes.
makes other people frustrated too because they feel like they're having to
Oh,
wait
yeah.
on you for everything.
Yeah, people don't like you to be second guessing them all the time. I mean, you try to finding a balance, and that's always a challenge for an entrepreneur. But you have to if you want to grow.
Right. You have to delegate at
You
some
just have
point.
to do it. Yeah,
Yeah. You either have to delegate or go solo.
that's right.
Yeah.
And yeah, but nobody said it was easy,
Right.
but it's necessary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who's thinking about starting a business who maybe needs that little push of you can do it?
Well, I'm kind of back to make sure it's something you want to do, that you've got a really kind of a desire to do it. I think at one point in time I came up with sort of 3 P's, which was passion. Okay, you need to want it because it's not going to be easy. And you're going to go through times where you go, well, I'll just get out of this. I did the same thing. But if this is something you really want, and then the second P is perseverance. So you have to hang in there when it's not the way that you thought it would be, or something like that. You have to keep going. And so you got to like it, but then you got to keep going. Even if you like it, there's challenges. And then the last one for me is prayer, is that you're going to run into situations that, frankly, there's no good answer. And I mean, you do that all the time, really. But you can struggle with it, or you can ask for help. And so, that's a kind of a lifetime learning thing, asking for help and then kind of relaxing, not trying to grab it back and solve it again, and kind of letting go of that. But I've seen that, with my Christian faith, that the Lord helps me take care of those problems. I don't always understand how it works, but we're still here, 52 years later, and I've done that lots and lots of times. And so you don't have to understand everything about it to be successful. You know, nobody has a corner on all the knowledge and wisdom necessary.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
None of us do anyway.
Yeah. That would be nice. It would be really nice, but
it would be. Then you'd probably get so conceited, you know, that nobody could even talk to you, you know?
Yeah.
Because you know it all.
Well, you know, and then like the book of Ecclesiastes says, with more wisdom comes more sorrow. So
yeah,
not sometimes you don't need to know more.
Sometimes
you might wish you didn't know things.
There's things that are, you don't need to know that. You know, the human mind is curious.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you have to just go, nah, I'm okay with that. I don't need to know that.
Yeah.
And
too curious.
I don't need to wrestle with that one. You know, so but yeah, because you can stress out and burn out.
Right.
And that can certainly happen.
Yeah, very, very much. All right. Well, any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
No, back to Block 34. It's really going as well as I thought it would, maybe even better. You're always like a little bit apprehensive of, is this going to be successful? Do people want it? Do they like it? And when I see people over there enjoying it, and the kids, you know, playing on the little play area and the water fountain and stuff, I go, yeah, they like this, and that was a good idea. And so, you know, to me, really, that's enough. You know, where it goes from there, I think it's got a lot of potential, but you know, I feel like there's some energy there already.
Absolutely.
That is kind of, I guess, what I was looking for, that people like it and want to be there.
Yeah.
And then see where it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see people using the kids area all the time.
I know.
Driving around.
All we've got's that one little hill and that culvert underneath, but they're just all over that
a
thing.
little water feature. And it's just.
Yeah. It's not like a huge playground, but you know, the adults can go and then the kids have something to do. You know? I think that's generally the idea.
Well, and I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the episode. I'll probably put it in my intro, but this is actually going to be episode 34.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Perfect. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, you bet. Absolutely. My pleasure, Denver.
Thanks for tuning in to Still Connect. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Steve. Be sure to check out Kicker and Block 34 on all their social media, linked in the show notes below, as well as the podcast social for highlights, updates, and more. Also, be sure to share the podcast with all of your Stillwater friends so that we can grow the podcast and our community. If you love hearing Stillwater stories come to life, I would really appreciate your support on Patreon. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you can help grow the podcast, plus get early access to episodes, behind-the-scenes looks, and a shout-out on a show. Higher tiers let you submit questions for upcoming guests, receive podcast merch, and even appear on an episode yourself. Every bit of support helps grow this community and keeps local stories front and center. Together, we can keep Stillwater connected, one conversation at a time. And remember, we all need community. So even when life gets busy, make sure you still connect.